U, H. Okay, and those who sent the audio, you really did such a good job, everyone. I was surprised. I don't know what the secret is. Maybe Taiwanese and Chinese in Taiwan is very similar to Ukrainian, but the pronunciation of all of you who did it is really good. The only few mistakes that I could see is when some of you, if I wrote it down, you did it. If you didn't, you didn't. So if you have R, just make sure you pronounce it R, because some people would read it as English, like R, which is not right, so it's R. Yeah, the rest was perfect, so I hope we all keep it up. And now we've got to actually read our first story in Ukrainian. We start with something easy. Let's try to read these words first. What do you see? Once again. So it's going to be T, O, R, T. And let's say tort. Yeah, which is a cake, right? Let's try one more. What about this thing? Yeah, that's good. So K, A, V, A. Yeah, let's do it again. Kava. And over here, you've got a story already. So that's the car. How do you say the car in Ukrainian? Yeah, that's good. Once again. Avto. And what about the one here? What's that? Yeah, that's good. So a bag in Ukrainian is going to be sumka. Okay? What else is here? Mother. Okay, that one is easy, I believe so. Not right. Once again, mama. What about this thing? Yeah, that's good. That's the father. So, tato. And let's read what we've got here. The first sentence is like, mom and dad are in the car. How do you say that? Yeah, very good. So, ta, you might remember it's and, na could mean different things. In this case, it means in the car. So, let's again, mama, ta, tato, na, avto. Okay, just one more time, let's go. Mama, ta, tato, na, avto. And just to let you know, in a few seconds you will record it for me, so make sure you do it together with me now. The second one means mom is sad. In Ukrainian, we do not have be verbs, so pretty much it's just say mom sad. That's how it goes. How do you say mom is sad? Yeah, that's good. So you've got mama, sumna, which means mom is sad. Sumna. Once again, mama sumna. And then if you want to say here you go in Ukrainian, you can say this word, which is na. Oh, okay, you continue. That was fast. So if you want to say here you go, let's say na. And over here, that says a new bag. New. So, sorry, one more time. Let's say, how do you say a new bag? Yeah, that's good. So, one more time. Nova sumka. Alright, so he says, here you go, a new bag for you. And then you could say that mom is not sad. How do you say that? Well done. So if you want to say not something, so here mom is sad, it's like mama sumna. If you want to say she is not sad, you just need to add na, which means not. And you get mom is not sad. One more time, let's say mama ne sumna. Okay, and just a new word with a few new letters. So just try to remember the pronunciation instead of the spelling. In Ukrainian, if you want to say thank you, you say дякую. Okay, and maybe just one more time, something like that. Дякую. And the stress is here. So one more time, let's go. Дякую. Yeah, that one said thanks. Alright, so that was your story. And now you will read it in a few seconds. So maybe let's just practice one more time. I will read it and then you read it and then you will record the whole thing. Okay, let's go. So mom and dad are in the car. Let's go. Mama, tato, na avto. Do I need to write it down in Latin, or you think you can do it without that? Could you raise your hand up if you think it's okay, or down if you think I need to write it down? Okay, I see more of good, so we'll skip it. Let's keep going. Then, mom is sad. How do you say that? Good, once again. Mama sumna. Okay, and he says, here you go, on your back. Good, once again. Na nova sumka. And mom is not sad? Good, once again. Mama ne sumna. And she says, very good, one more time, let's go. Дякую. Alright, and that's the whole story. So could you please enter teams for me? It's only 4 sentences, or even 3 sentences. So let's do it. Let's read sentence by sentence. So you record one sentence, you send it to me, and then I switch to the next slide, okay? So the first one for you. Mom and dad are in the car. Mom is sad. Oh, and by the way, these blue lines is a division into syllables. That's how kids learn to read in Ukraine. So it goes like mama. So kids would read like ma, mama, sumna, sumna. So that's the syllables. Alright, next thing. Here you go, a new bag. Mom is not sad. And then thank you. Alright, ready? I think we would change the order a bit. Let's move to the letters. I feel like it's a good time still. So Ukrainian language and then culture. Let's do it. So that's one of the very popular characters in Ukrainian cartoon. We'll watch it later. Just the wolf who helped the dog, and they became best friends. A very good cartoon. It's one of my favorite. We'll watch it sometime later. But anyways, that's something he says, and that's something you're gonna read. most letters you don't know already, but you know how to say that. It's going to be hi, how are you? How do you say that? Okay, if you do remember, it's great. But for those who do not, let's say again. Привіт. Як справи? And then you've got two options. So you can say everything is good, which is, yeah, that's good. Once again, добре. And if everything is bad, you say, okay, once again, погано. Okay, one more time. So let's go. Привіт. Як справи? Добре. Погано. Okay, and time for some letters. I did upload the second worksheet to your iClass, so it's going to be the same. If you downloaded that before, you have it already. And I hope you did notice that it's not only the worksheet, but the audio as well, so you can listen at home if you want to practice more. Okay, so that's going to be more letters, quite a lot today. Let's see how many we can finish. And we call them new friends. So they do sound like the letters you know in English, but they look a bit different. So please make sure that you write it down and then send it to me in Teams. You might have some trouble writing, it's normal. I'll just correct if you have any errors. So let's see, our new friends. And they're just here. I will read those letters for you and then we'll write them down again. It's our first, what's the name? New friend. It's gonna be B. Then we have this letter, it's G. Then we have D. Yeah. Z. I. L. P. F. Okay, so that's all for today. Let's just write them down again. If you open your worksheet, it's gonna look like this. So first we start with the pronunciation. So one by one, let's just write down how these letters sound over here in the square brackets, and then we practice the writing. So let's go. It's gonna be the first letter here. So please just write down the pronunciation of these letters. And the first letter, just like English B, just with a bit more of the sounding. So let's say just one more time, it's gonna be B. So in the square brackets, please write down the sound. That's gonna be our letter B, like B in bag. So the next letter sounds like English G. G. Then you see one more, which is like in the word дякую. This is letter D. Yeah, once again, D. So letter number 4 sounds like yeah in yellow. So maybe you need this word to know for sure. Once again, yeah. Yeah. The next one is like short I. Oh, sorry, short I. So it's going to be letter U. It's a bit more prominent than in English. So ink, but this one is a bit like voiced. Ink. I feel like this letter is a bit more to note. Let's try to say it one more time. So just say the word ink, but make it a bit more voiced and a bit more deep, like The next thing is going to be E, like in the word street, E. E. Let's say that one too, E. Then we've got L. And the last two are a bit more voiced than in English, so letter P. P. And the last one is letter F. Alright, let's finish a few and then we'll have a break and talk about something else. I hope you can record some of them, so I guess you don't need to record the sounds this time. Let's try with some of the letters, some of the words that I will highlight. So if I highlight it, we will read that. If I do not highlight, please do read. Alright, let's see. So we start with this letter over here. It's going to be the first thing. So let's again, that's going to be letter B. So when you write it down, the small one could be either like that or something like this, which is really hard to write for me because we never do that. I literally don't know how to do that. It's only for printed books. People usually don't write that. So this one looks a bit odd, but I guess people know that this is B. It's just only in the textbooks. We never do it this way. So I would write it down this way. It looks more like a book to me. So that's going to be printed, the one you see in the book. And now we move to the handwriting. So let's start with the big one. It goes like 1, 2, and 3. And then we have a small one. So a small one starts with the little circle, and then we go up. So one more time, I'll just write it down. It's 1, 2, and 3. And then if you want the small one, it just goes like 1 and 2. And you can make a little wave on the top. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. So this wave, it can be either straight or a small wave. It's personal. And let's just see the handwriting one more time, but on the big screen. Okay, one more time, let's go. It's letter B. Okay. And right now, let's read some of the words over here. The first now are the sounds. So these letters you know already. So what do you see? Ba. Good job. Once again, ba. And then? Once again, bo. Good. Once again, boo. Ba. Up. Ob. Oop. App. Okay, so I believe it's not that hard, right? So it's pretty much just all the sounds you know already. So it's ba, bo, boo, ba. And then up, op, oop, app. Okay, your turn. Can you say it again? that's good. And now let's see. The first word is going to be fish. Quite inconsistent because this one is a new letter, right? It's letter Yes, sorry, so we'll skip it, okay? It's ryba. Okay, the next thing. Grandmother. Once again, baba. Then you have brother. Good job, once again, brat. And then you have. Good job, once again, bar. Okay, I'll write down for you, but you read for me, okay? What's the first word you see? We skip the fish, okay? Number one is. Good, once again, baba. Okay, what's next? Nice, brat, and the last thing? Bar. Alright, what else do you have? Oh, banana. How do you say banana in Ukrainian? And this one is stressed. Yeah, good job. Once again, banan. And then? Nice, once again, bank. And the last thing? Very good, once again, autobus. Okay, these three words. Could you read again, please? Banan. Nice. Once again, bank. And the last thing. Good job, autobus. Alright, so you've got 6 words to read. Could you please record these words for me and send them? Let's move to the next letter. So this letter is not in Russian language, it's only in Ukrainian, even though the alphabets are very similar. It sounds like English good though, so maybe over time let's say good. Once again, printed, you just go like this, and with the handwriting it goes like that. Quite interesting, for example, my mom's generation, so let's say people who are born in the Soviet Union time, they didn't have this letter. They brought it back after the independence of Ukraine. Do you remember which year Ukraine got the independence? How old is Ukraine? We talked about that. Do you remember?
33.
Yeah, 33. The age of Jesus Christ. So it's 1991. It's when we got the independence. And that's when we brought letter G back. It's something bloody connected with the Soviet Union not wanting Ukraine to have some extra letters, and they wanted to kind of have the same language everywhere. That's why they canceled that. And then during independence, Ukrainian brought it back. It sounds like it's for no reason being banned, but the Soviet Union saw it as something that is not a standard, and it shouldn't be in the Ukrainian alphabet, which should be a standard according to the Soviet Union. All right, so we got it back, it's all good, and we just have to see how to write it on the big screen. Let's do it again. So the first one is going to be printed. Great, so please write it down and then let's read some of them. These are just on the difference between the sounds g, k, h. So maybe the first one, let's do it together. Let's say ga, ka, ha.
Ga, ka, ha.
Okay, what else do you see? Alright, and the last thing. Yeah, good job. So I don't think we need to record that, but let's say just one more time. Go, go, ho. Go, go, ho. Alright, and let's move to the next letter. So this letter is letter D. D. So if you want to write it down, it's going to be something like this. And print it. And if you want to do the handwriting, it goes like 1, 2, 3. Or one more time, it's maybe a bit slower. Like this. And then with the small one, just make sure you've got it under the line. That's the most important. So you've got the printed one and the cursive. So it's like little steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the little one. Right, let's see it one more time on the bigger screen, so maybe it's a bit better. And as you can see, sometimes I write this tail, sometimes I do not. It's optional, so it's up to you. You could do like this at the beginning, or you could kind of have no little circle over here. So it's up to you. D with the circle or D without. Alright, how is it going? Do I need to write it down one more time, or it's good? It's fine? Okay. So then let's read what we got here. A few sounds first, should be easy. It's gonna be for you guys. What do you see? Good, once again, da. Okay, what else? Nice, da, quite easy. I say oh, you say, I say do, you say, okay, I say u, you say, okay, I say do, you say, I say you say, and then that, nice job. And then let's see what words we got here. Could you try to read the first one, please? Good, okay, so a few new letters and some old ones. So it's d, a, m, b, a. And if you divide into syllables, it's damba. Sorry, once again. Oh, my bad. Damba. Once again, damba. What's number 2? Okay, that's good. So let's see. D, u, m, k, a, dumka. And the last one is going to be a day. Do-ba. Alright, let's read these words again, can we? Let's go. Number 1, damba. Dumka. Do-ba. Alright, what else do you have? The bottom of something. Okay, that's good. Once again, the, n, o, the, no. No. It's a bit hard to pronounce the letters together, right? But the no. And the last is going to be yeah, it's da. Alright, so let's read one more time together and then let's start from here. Let's go. Damba. Думка. Доба. Dno. Dada. Alright, I feel like this word is the hardest, so it's like not the no. And please record, send it to me. Okay, ready? I guess we still can do a few letters. So the next letter is the one here. Let's say yeah. Yeah, like in yellow. So if you want to write it down, it's very straightforward. So half of the moon and a little tail. And if you want to do the handwriting, it's the same, but just tilted a little bit. So one more time, that's going to be your letter yeah in the book. And it's a little bit tilted if you want to do the handwriting. Please don't forget to practice handwriting and send it to me in Teams. And let's do the same on the big screen. Okay, so they do look similar. Just one is tilted, the other one is not. Yeah. And you only have one word over here. What do you see? One more time? Yeah, good. So you got yeah, n, o, t. Yeah, not. Let's just say one more time. Yeah, not. Okay, I guess no need to record just one word, so we move to the next letter. Over here, you've got letter Z. Yeah, let's say over time, Z. And if you want to do the book version, it just looks like that. And if you want to do the handwriting, you need to tilt a bit and make one of them lower. I think it might be a bit complicated, so I will do it. It's like one, and then the small one. Let's see on the bigger screen. Just please make sure to write this tail under the line. That's the main rule here. And let's do this part. So the first are just the sounds. Could you read them for me? What do you see? Good. Let's say one more time. It's going to be za, zo, zu, za. And then let's say as, os, us, as. And then a few new words for you. So number one is going to be Good job. So it goes like ba-zar. Once again, bazar. What's number 2? Yep, that's good. So it goes like zra, zog. Once again, zra, zog. Alright, the next is going to be the tooth. Nice. Once again, zoob. And a zebra. Okay, I've heard. It's going to be zebra. Alright, so let's just read these words again, okay? After me. Bazar, zarazog, zub, zebra. 2 more. Yep, well done. So it's vaza, vaza. And the last one's going to be a fairy tale. Yeah, that's good. Kazka. Kazka. Okay, so I guess the pleasant part about Ukrainian language, it always sounds how it's written. So there are no root exceptions in this term, which is perfect, I guess, for any writing system. So over here, let's just practice reading one more time before you record, and then we can do something else. So let's go. Number 1 is going to be bazar, zarazog, zub, zebra, vaza, kazka. Okay, so please record it and then we'll talk about something else. Alright, so we've got 10 minutes left. And I want you to create the dialogue now. For this dialogue, we just need a few new words. For these new words, you can actually go down over here to your read phrases part. And even though we do not know some of the letters, I want you just to remember the pronunciation for now, okay? And then once you know these letters, we'll just have a revision again. At this point, just look at the Latin, please. So the first word is something you know already. How do you say thank you in Ukrainian? Yeah, that's good. Let's again, дякую. And if you want to say nothing or like you're welcome, it's going to be the one here. The only complicated looking word here is the one here, right? But it's easy for you guys. It's easy for Chinese speakers to say it. So in Ukrainian, just one letter, but the pronunciation is like this. It's sh, chi, and you need to say it together. Sh. Let's say sh. So it's like sh and chi, but you mix it together. One more time, let's go sh. So if you want to say nothing, it goes like nема za що. Okay, so one more time, let's go. It's going to be дякую. Нема за що. Alright, so let's imagine that the father actually replied. How would you say, here you go, a new bag, and then thank you, you're welcome. Good job. Na, nova sumka, and the mom says, Good job. Once again, дякую. And father says, good. Once again, нема за що. Alright. Що, нема за що. Alright, so what I want you to do now, let's do a little dialogue. For this dialogue, you need to pretty much say hello. The other person replies hello. Then you say, how are you? The answer is up to you. You can say good or bad. It's up to you. It's thumbs up if you wonder. And then this person says, here you go. And you vase. It's present. And then this person says, thank you. And you need to say, you're welcome. So you've got the word vase in your text. Could you please try to think how to say all this dialogue? And you can write down in Latin now, and then please record with your partner, okay? So Martani, you have to say hello, hello, how are you? Good or bad? Here you go, and you vase, and then thank you, you're welcome. Do we need to do it one more time together, and then you write it down and practice, okay? Let's go. How do you say hello in Ukrainian? Привіт. Привіт. And then how do you say how are you? Як справи? And then you say добре or погано. And then how would you say here you go and you vase? Yeah, that's very good. So in Ukrainian, vaza, vase. And you just have to say letter Z over here, vaza. So na, nova vaza. And then you can say thank you, you're welcome, which is дякую. Нема за що. Alright, I think you can do it without my help now. Could you try to do it with your partner, please? Do you think it's doable or it's not doable? Not doable. Okay, I'll write it down for you. If you feel more confident, please do it now with your partner. I don't think it works. Okay, one more time. How do you say hello? Okay, I'll write it down in Latin. You say one more time. Okay, let's go. Привіт. And your partner needs to say hello again. Привіт. Then you need to say how are you? Yeah, good job. Once again, як справи? Then you can say good, which is, once again, добре. How do you say bad? That's good. Погано. And then here you go, a new bag. Oh, a new face, sorry. That's good. Once again, na, nova vaza. Then you have thank you. Дякую. And the lesson is going to be nothing or not at all. Нема за що. Нема за що. Okay, let's practice again, okay? And then you record. I think you can do it. Let's go. Привіт. Привіт. Як справи? Добре. Погано. На. Нова база. Дякую. Нема за що. Okay, is it doable now? Anyone? Thumbs down, we can practice. Alright, no thumbs down, so I think you can practice now. Please choose your phone and practice with your partner. Record it and send it to me, please. please send the dialogue still. See you in 10 minutes. number 1401. 1401. And I'm not sure if we will have time to continue handwriting today, but we will just stop with these letters. So please take a picture of what you have written just now during the class before I send it to Teams, okay? So these letters, so letter B, G, D, yddh. We might continue if we still have time today, but maybe it's the end already. So please send them to me. Could you send your handwriting to me, please? Alright, and let's continue. So we did talk about the history and culture now. Not so much of history, it's more of the culture. Just a few questions for you. I hope you did read this little post shared on Instagram by yddh Collective. So it was kind of a popular account when the war started, and then all of a sudden she stopped sharing anything about Ukraine, but still I feel like some of the information she has is quite interesting. You could check her account for some random Ukrainian facts. It was your homework, so I hope you checked at least that one post. And yddh in Ukrainian means the flower band, the one you would put on your head as an accessory. So yddh Collective, the flower band. And over here you can see all the folklore characters. Why we talk about them again, it's because it's really a huge part of Ukrainian identity. If you remember from the previous class, before Christianity, Slavic people had a different religion. Do you remember the name of the religion? Anyone? What's the name of the religion that Slavic people had before Christianity? It was paganism, right? When people believed in the gods of nature and also different spirits. So after that time, all those spirits kind of moved to our folklore. You can find them in lots of stories. When you read, let's say, fairy tales for kids or even stories for adults, you can always see those spirits like popping up randomly. And even these days, when people talk to each other, they would talk about one of those spirits as a joke. So a huge part of Ukrainian humor and jokes are based on folklore. That's how we joke. So that's why it's a bit hard to translate that to other languages, because it's a lot from the old times. A lot is based on our folk. And just randomly, people could bring, let's say, the mermaids. It could be something like, oh, don't go into the water, the mermaid's gonna kidnap you. It's pretty normal for us to talk like that. Or maybe something like, what else is here? Baraghinya, or we will talk about that, or Domoviki, those little spirits that live in the house. People will be like, oh, what's that? Is it Domovik or something? So we talk about that in our normal days too. Alright, so I do hope you read it, but even if you didn't, please try to remember we have a little quiz later, so it will be helpful. As you can see, Ukrainian folklore is pretty much based on the pre-Christian traditions, so the paganism is a huge reason why we have those spirits, why we have them on the pages and so on. They're pretty much all the natural elements that are the base of that, right? So it's like the earth, water, sky, fire, sun, and rain. And then we will talk about those who are the most important. The first is going to be the mermaids. In Ukrainian, it's rusalki, which are the girls who died. And maybe sometimes they're called as mavki, but we also separate mafia as a separate kind. And they're usually those who were not baptized, so they were not Christians, and that's why they died and they turned into mermaids. I've got a little introduction of mermaids here, so please try to remember a few facts. You might need them later. From 326, let's see. So they will talk about mermaids. Now, okay, let's go.
If we were talking about the grandfather mermaid, you should know that in the Slavic folklore there is also a normal variant of mermaid. Beautiful and young, with wild and red hair. Rusalka is an evil spirit, which comes from a young woman who was killed or killed herself near a river. Like mermaids, she lures beautiful young men into the turbulent waters, and then mercilessly kills them. It is said that if a Rusalka's hair dries completely, she will die. Smay.
Alright, did you hear? Is the audio loud enough? Is it? Okay, that's good. So the first is going to be mermaids. So maybe a few facts, just let's write them together and then the rest you do by yourself. Good for your quiz, as I said. So what do you remember? How to kill a mermaid? Let's start with that. Yeah, true. So if her hair dries, she's gonna die. And then, why did they turn into mermaids? Oh yeah, maybe they killed themselves or they got killed next to the water. That could be. And how did they kill the young man? Yeah, they did. They pulled them into the water and then they usually tickle them to death. That's what they said. Alright, so something like that. Please make some notes for the next characters. We have quite a few. The next time you've seen in that Instagram post was Chuhaister. I hope you remember him. He's quite a big character in Ukrainian folk stories. What we know about him is that he's a good spirit, lives in the lives in the forest, and he takes care of the forest. If you ever need help, you can call him. And then there are different ways to call him. The one I knew is like knocking on the tree, and then he will show up, and he might help you if you are captured by mermaids or by mafka. And over here we have a bit of an introduction in the video form. So let's see. The first one is going to be where he comes from, like why do we have him, and the second one is his activities. Let's see, 2 videos.
Chuhaister is a friendly forest spirit. His name is sometimes Forest Man or Forest Grandfather. He's one of many Slavic creatures that roam around the trees of Eastern Europe. The arguably more well-known creature, the Leshy, is also sometimes referred to as Forest Man.
Sorry, I'll stop here. So Leshy is actually more common in Russian folklore. And Leshy could be a bad guy, even though he's also addressed as the forest guy. But Chuhaister is always a good spirit, so that's the difference. And Leshy is not that common in Ukrainian folklore. It's basically Russian folklore. He just mentioned Leshy, that's why I stopped.
The most accepted origin of Chuhaister is, sadly, a curse. Chuhaister was once a regular man. In his human life, he greatly offended his neighbour, and in return was cursed to wander the forest until the end of the world. Due to his curse, he is immortal and cannot be harmed by anyone, physical or spiritual. Over the years, it's said his clothes have rotted and ragged away to nothing, leaving him naked. In one version of it...
Alright, so that's it. Did you make any notes? Anything we should discuss? What did you hear? Maybe let's start with why does he live in the forest? What's the reason of him being in the forest? Is it his goodwill or something happened to him? Yeah, right. It's like a spell of his neighbor. That's true. And then, did you hear the last part? Is he naked or he's dressed? Yeah, he does walk naked, he said. I didn't know that, honestly, before I watched this video. And then, what's the reason why he is naked? They said his clothes got rotten because he's an old guy, right? That's what he said. Alright, and then the second part.
Juhaista is a friendly forest spirit. His name is sometimes Forest Man.
Oh, sorry, this part.
He entices people to dance with him. He sleeps in the thickets, curled up tightly into a ball, and he feels lucky when there's a fireside to sleep near. In winter, Juhaista sneaks into the chimneys of huts to warm himself over the heat of the hearth, singing his songs with the howling wind. This spirit is an incidental protector. For his food, Juhaista hunts dangerous spirits, similar to mermaids, called mavka. He tears them apart, and he eats them. This in turn saves all those who would fall prey to those mavka. To take advantage of this incidental protection, it's common for shepherds or forest dwellers to leave offerings to Juhaista in order to lure him to their area. Food such as soup is provided due to Juhaista's perceived lack of teeth. Sometimes he is gifted bread and salt, the symbols of Ukrainian hospitality, placed comfortably on high branches. If the food is gone after a period of time, celebrations are held that Juhaista is around, and therefore dark spirits cannot be. He entices people to dance with him.
Alright, so he's a friendly spirit who likes to dance and sing songs, and he invites people to dance with him, right? And then, what else did you hear from this video? Yeah, that's right. So, when he's called, he goes to the houses reaching, right? And then, what was that about how to call Juhaista? Yeah, that's good. So then he also explained that it's how you show hospitality in Ukraine. So usually if you have important guests, maybe in the embassy, if let's say you are Taiwanese and you would come to Ukrainian embassy, pretty much you would see the bread and salt, and that's how people will welcome you. It's how we show hospitality in Ukraine. And so they say if you put bread and salt, he will come over to help you. And then what does he eat on? What is his food? Yeah, right. So he does eat mermaids and mavkas. So he eats bad spirits. And he can help you if you encounter any problem in the forest. If you're lost in the forest, he's the one who can help you too. Alright, and the one over here is very, very Ukrainian. You cannot see it in any other Slavic country. That's the one called yddh. I think from this text it's kind of hard to understand what it is about, but yddh means the protector, a female protector. So we talk about that when we wish protection to someone. So we could say something like, I hope yddh is with you. So that's something we would say. And it's hard to detect when she was mentioned for the first time. Some people say it was the goddess during paganism. So maybe the goddess of water or something. And over time it became a very important symbol of Ukrainian independence. So after Ukrainian independence in 1991, yddh became not just a guardian, a protector of people, but also the protector of the whole nation. So that's why when you're in Ukraine, you can see the symbol in many places. And over here, it's just like a symbol of a girl with the raised hands here. And for us, it also shows the woman's power. Kind of, and like the woman that protects you, like a mother protector. And over here, just a few words from this gentleman.
The earliest written mentions of yddh date back to the 14th and 15th centuries. These references indicate that in ancient times the Slavs worshipped Perun, Horus, Vili, Mokosh, Burs, and yddhs. From this, one can conclude that yddhs were likely nature spirits. However, there is no consensus on the specific natural locations where Berechinas dwell.
He was just talking that maybe it's the water spirit, maybe it's the forest spirit, no one knows for sure. That's why it's gay.
Well, since there were no detailed descriptions of Berechinas and their functions, and all versions were mere guesses and assumptions. However, towards the end of the 20th century, Ukrainian writers added new dimensions to the myth. Thanks to some of them, the image of Berehina took on an entirely new meaning: a goddess protector, mother of all things earthly, and almost the patroness of Ukraine and the embodiment of femininity. During a wave of national revival, Berehina quickly became a popular symbol. Claims arose that she was an ancient Ukrainian goddess, and her image, a woman with hands raised to the sky, could be found among artifacts of the Tripilian culture and in traditional embroidery. Some even suggested that the national emblem, the trident, was a transformed Berehina. Of course, scholars debunk all these versions, but it doesn't stop the modern image of Berehina from remaining highly popular in Ukraine. After all, let's admit it, a goddess protector and a great mother look much more intriguing than a water.
Than a water goddess.
Earlier.
Alright, so maybe the date. He said it might have appeared around the 13th, 15th century, but then during the independence of Ukraine, it became very popular. It was like marketing pretty much, so they needed something to show the protection of the nation, and they just brought it back. Alright, so let's move to someone more fun. Someone more fun is going to be Domovik. It's like a little naughty spirit that lives in your house. And he can be either good for you, or he can do something naughty if you don't clean the house well. He likes to clean house. And so sometimes if something naughty happens, you would say like, oh, it's the misdeed of Domovik, for example. Even these days, people joke like that. Or in old times, for example, if the girl wanted to get married, she would ask Domovik for kind of like a blessing or a help in a joking way, and then whatever he does, if he does something naughty, it means like she shouldn't get married. So it's a big part of our folklore too. And usually it's pictured as a small man who likes cleaning, and he's a bit naughty. Alright, let's see what they say. I hope it works. Doesn't seem like working. I'm not sure. It was a video link this time, so I think it didn't save it as a link, it saved it as a picture. Well, alright, I don't think we can watch it now then. So, let's see. All you need to know about Domovik is that it's like a small man that does something naughty in your house if you don't clean well. And then if you... I didn't know that. So when a family member dies and their casket is carried out of the house on the way to the church, the casket is knocked against the door frames 3 times, as this is another place where it believed the Domovik resides in the house, and the deceased farewell to the protective house spirit. And so he's also like a protector of the house pretty much. Alright, let's move to this guy over here. So his name is V. And he is the most powerful spirit in Ukrainian folklore. It's hard to say whether he was actually the one who was created by our ancestors, or maybe he is the imagination of one of the biggest authors in Ukrainian literature, which is this man over here. Have you ever seen him? Have you seen his face before? His name is Mykola. If you do Russian studies, you might know him under a different name. As you know, names change in Russian and Ukrainian. So in Russian, he's going to be Nikolai Gogol. In Ukrainian, he's Mykola. And he's Ukrainian-born author. He loved Ukraine, and he did write a lot about Ukrainian village, Ukrainian folk, and so on. So the video over here is just a small short part from the movie to see how V operates. So pretty much if you need to punish something or someone, the bad spirits would call him up. And V in Ukrainian means lashes. So to start to kill, he needs to open his lashes, to open his eyes, and then he has like a killing gate, so he will kill someone. I feel like I can try to find it, so you see him in action, but I'm not sure. And please don't mind, it's a very old movie from 1967. The book is even older. Probably this, I guess, that's it. So they're all the bad spirits who called him out to help them kill the guy. The end. Alright, so usually he talks to, but he didn't talk this time. Usually he says something like, open my eyes, because he cannot open the eyes by himself, and all other spirits will help him. I do hope you remember the name of the author, because we will talk about him later. He's a genius of Ukrainian literature. So one more time, this person over here, let's say his name one more time. He's gonna be Mykola Hohol. It's his surname. He's the one who wrote down about all the folk things that were happening in Ukraine. So then we have Vidma. I feel like witches are one of the easiest spirits to talk about because they're kind of the same everywhere. So you could either be born as a witch or you can become a witch later. And usually the biggest difference in Ukrainian folklore is that the witches can steal things in Ukrainian folklore. So they can steal stars, the moon and the rain. So one day you pretty much can wake up and there is no moon in the sky, and they say it's the witch who stole it. And I think next class we'll talk about one of the books by Hohol, and he did write about the Ukrainian village where like some witches were operating, and it's one of the things they did. They did steal the moon as well. Okay, let's see. So 126, a bit about the witches. Oh, so one of the most popular witches in Slavic folklore is the one here. She's called Baba Yaga. And let's look about her. So it's just one of the many witches we do have in Slavic folklore.
Baba Yaga. If you are passionate about Slavic mythology, or if you read Russian stories as a child, you will surely remember Baba Yaga, the witch who lives in the house perched on chicken legs and ornamented with human skulls. The house has no windows or doors, and is surrounded by a fence made of human bones. She only feeds on children and flies. Although originally the name is unclear, as is the purpose, it is believed that Baba means old woman or grandmother, and Yaga means snake or evil. She usually appears in Russian folklore as an old woman or as a trio of old weak sisters with iron teeth and very long noses. She is described in most stories as an old woman with supernatural powers who lives in the forest. She usually holds a broom and flies in a huge mortar. In some stories, Baba Yaga helps the main hero, but can temporarily prevent him from achieving his goals. Although it does not seem to attack or harass anyone unprovoked, it is usually enough to disturb her by appearing unannounced at the door of her hut. But most of the stories with Baba Yaga are not about her. and they don't have her as the main character. In general, these are heroes who meet her on their pilgrimages.
So usually she can help if she likes you, but don't trust her because she can mislead you. And so one of the fun things is that Baba Yaga usually lives in the house on the chicken legs, and usually the main characters come to the house and they say, "House, house, please turn around," and the house will turn around and let them enter. It's like the most general description in fairy tales. And let's move to the last one. This one is more like a concept, less of a spirit, I would say. So it's going to be doля, which means fate. So it's something people would talk about a lot in daily conversation. We kind of like to blame everything on the fate in Ukraine. So it's either a good fate that someone has or the unlucky fate. If it's something unlucky, you could hear people saying something like, she has licha doля, which means she has an unlucky fate. Or we could say, her fate is slipping, which means like, nothing good is going to happen for her. And usually the fate is like final, fatal, so we would say something like, такая ей доля, which means such is her fate, and people do not fight sometimes because they would just say, oh, it's my fate, and they kind of give up because of that. And also we do believe that the fate is not something we could change, but it's something that people cannot escape from, so it's the part of the identity when you're born. I mean, it's a very cultural thing. Obviously, after the borders got open, we shifted a bit, and people do not get that negative as they were probably, but we still talk about the fate a lot, so you could hear that a lot in the sentence, like the fate is slipping, the fate is really bad, or like this person has a bad fate, and so on. Alright, so right now we do not have the personal quiz this time, but we will do it together now. Could you please scan this QR code, and I want to see how much you remember from all the spirits. So let's discuss them now. So after you scan this QR code, the first thing for you to do is to type the folklore characters that you remember. Maybe from the Instagram post or maybe from the previous class. You could just write down Latin or as good as you remember. Alright, so the first question for you is like 3 folklore characters that come from paganism. 3 names that you recall. And let's see which was the most popular one. Alright, all good. So we got Chevester, Mavka, some misspelled ones, Mermaid, Doля, Domovaki. Looks good. Okay, and let's talk about them a bit more. So I will just skip to the next thing. What do you remember about Domovik? That's the one we couldn't see the video of, but that's a small guy. Remember? By the way, in Ukrainian, dom means house. Maybe that one helps. Oh, good, thank you. So I'm not sure about it's very specific, but the rest looks good to me. So they will ask him if the girl needs to accept the proposal, a domestic spirit that protects the house, sometimes naughty. I guess that's good enough. Alright, let's move to the next thing. Who is yddh and what is his role in Ukrainian folklore? Let's see. He's the protector of the forest, loves dancing and singing. The main protector of the mountain forest. That's good. That's really good too. So he likes to sit by the human fire and roast the cod mavka on it. So in your text on Instagram, you can see that he actually barbecues mavkas. And then he would take people on a crazy dance. And shoes cannot withstand the dance. Yeah, he helps lost people too, and saves people from mermaids. He is naked, they say. Alright. And eats bad spirits. Thank you, that's good, sounds good. How does yddh protect the Carpathian Mountains? He does eat bad spirits. He's very strong, maybe. And actually, they also say he can grow any size he wants to. So if the forest is big, he can grow bigger. If the trees get smaller, he also changes the size. Maybe one more thing. So he eats bad spirits. He takes care of the forest actually as well. And one more, something he does for the people. Yeah, he is. Yeah, that's nice, thank you. So that's what I wanted. He helps people who are lost in the forest. You can call him, he will always come. And there are a few ways to call him. So the one in the video was the bread and salt, and he would come over. And also 3 knocks on the wood, that also works. Or you could also sometimes play the flute, and since he likes music and dancing, he will also come over. So in folklore you can see those 3 ways. Alright, let's see. Oh wait, that's actually the next question. How does one can get the help from yddh? So true. So you can either knock on the tree 3 times. I forgot to have this question. Or you could have bread and salt for him. Or you could also play the flute. Let's keep this in. So the next thing is Baragrinya. Who is Baragrinya? And what is her significance in Ukrainian folklore? And not just folklore, just for Ukraine in general. Baragrinya. Remember her, that's the lady. Zero responses if you look into the battery. If you still need to scan the QR code, please do so. pictured, she's the guardian of the nation, a lady with her hands rising in the air. That's good. It represents the women's power, also true, and protector of the nation. The giver of rain, I'm not sure where you got it. Maybe in old traditions, since we don't know why we have her. There are like a few theories where she came from. And some people say she's like the protector of the river, and maybe she was the giver of the rain. I'm not sure, no one knows for sure. The source of all life and death, the giver of rain and fertility. I think it took it from the Instagram then, right? The giver of rain. It's like we don't know for sure what kind of goddess she was in the past. So maybe she was giving the rain and fertility. The guardian of the nation. Yeah, so we got her back in 1991 as a symbol of independence of Ukraine and protector of Ukraine. All right, and then what about witches? What supernatural abilities are associated with witches, Ukrainian witches, not just any other Vidman witches? Good answer, but for the Vidma means witches, so witches is not the main, not the biggest spirit in Ukraine. So this is a no. I'm sorry, not this time. It's about the V. Do you need some help? It's not just that. So witches do all other things too. They can predict the future. They can turn you into anything you don't want to be. And then they can fly on the broom, yeah, all kind of stuff as well. I feel like the only one that is more Ukraine originated is the one here, where they steal the moons and the stars. Okay, so what about Dolia? Do you remember the fate? How is one's Dolia predicted, determined, and can it be changed, or it cannot be changed, according to Ukrainians? We only have 2 answers. I'm sorry if you're still typing, but I feel like they're good. So it's true. In Ukrainian culture, the fate is given, and we cannot change it, and we cannot escape from it. So it's either good or bad, and it's the part of you already once you're born. According to like very old traditions, Ukrainian traditions. True. So it's the fate which cannot be changed. I'm gonna skip it. All right. So the V. How is he described physically, and what are the consequences of his gaze? And V means luscious, if that helps. Not true. Not true. He's not small. I don't think so. And he's not naughty. I think you're confused with Domavik, the one who lives in the house. Okay, anyone? Well, let's wait till the right answer and then we'll skip. He does have long eyelashes, and it's not just you being cursed. I feel like it's a bit more to that. Okay, so his toe with heavy eyelashes, and he cannot open by himself. Yeah, so the one he would look at is gonna die. That's right. Thick eyelashes. I'm not sure about that. He might do that. So everything super powerful is the one that he does, and he also kills the strongest spirits. Alright, I will stop here. If you're tapping, I apologize. But let's do some questions. If you have any questions about the spirits now, you can ask a few. If not, we'll just say goodbye, and I will teach you how to say goodbye politely. Alright, I'm gonna wait till 55 for any questions about spirits or Ukrainian language, up to you. Also, please don't forget to send me your letters and do review them at home, please. Alright, so here's the way how you say goodbye in a polite way. So maybe it's the one you would say to your teacher or me saying to students if we are in a more formal relationship than just friends or like on the same level, let's say colleagues. You know this word already. How do you say bye? Yeah, right. So buvai is the one you would say casually to your friend. If you want to make it polite and formal, you need to add 2 more letters, which are the. Okay, so it means buvai the. Yeah, and that's the polite way. And now we can say thank you and goodbye. Could you say it please with me? Let's go. Yeah, that's good. Once again, дякую. Бувайте. Okay, and let's just check if anyone wrote down any questions. Alright, let's see. Is the Mavka in the movie related to the mermaid Mavka we just learned? There are different opinions. So sometimes people would say that Mavka is the type of the mermaid, and sometimes we separate them. So it depends on the book pretty much. I'm not sure how people saw it in old times, but from my perception, I would say mermaids are more evil. Mavka can be kinder. Are they related? Hard to say. Right, 55. Any other questions? By the way, did you watch the movie Mavka? You did? It's a bit Hollywoody. So we did expect a bit more Ukrainian stuff, I would say, when we talked about that. It was like a very big promotion for Ukrainians, and then we've got a bit of like Canadian influence, if you like, or American influence. Still lots of Ukrainian traditions pictured. All right, that's all right. So one more time, the answer is they might be related, or most of the time they separate them. So mermaids are evil and Mavka is a kinder spirit. So it depends on the story. All right, that's all. Let's say one more time. Дякую, бувайте. See you next time. Don't forget to review the letters, please.